Good morning, and in today's show I'm going to answer the question, how do I break bad habits? Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I am your host, James Borman. If you are coming through, please do let me know down below. Let me know if this resonates. Let me know if you've had experience of this. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help. If I put my hand on the table here and I had somebody come along and lift my finger up and down 1,000 times a day over a 4-week period, what would end up happening is that my body would start becoming wired to that movement, from my brain right through to my finger, through all of the nerves. It would almost become an automation, an automated thing that would just naturally happen. And we do this in terms of with other habits. Smoking, drinking, gambling. We don't ever start off any of these habits on purpose. We don't turn around and say, right, I want to start smoking, I want to increase the chances of me giving myself lung cancer, I want to increase the chances of making sure my lungs are black and I live an unhealthy life. Okay, you don't turn around and say, I want to start spending all of my money and create an awful lot of stress, right? It starts off with harmless, unconscious actions. So when you're a kid, maybe you're smoking to fit in, maybe you wanted to try it, maybe you're in a situation where you felt you had to fit in, and then all of a sudden it become an automation. It become a natural thing that just happened. And without even realizing it, when you feel your relationship with that bad habit, there is a trigger. So when you feel stressed or exhausted or overwhelmed, what you end up doing is grabbing the fat packet, smoking a cigarette, and you won't even realise it. And then it's the same when you hit a drink. You'll end up coming in, going straight to the fridge, grabbing a bottle of beer, opening it and going straight into it. Or when you're in a casino or when you're online, you can't help but just automatically make a bet. These things just become very unconscious. But I guarantee you that if you were to consciously think about the things that you're doing, i.e. consciously embrace what smoking a cigarette feels like, feeling the smoke going down your throat and poisoning your lungs, you making and placing a bet which is going to put you and your family in jeopardy because you're running out of money. If you consciously thought about these things, you think twice about the habit, right? But sometimes that just isn't enough to consciously think about the bad habit that you're putting yourself through, okay, to break it. We have to be able to disrupt the pattern, the automation that I've been talking about, from your brain to your finger, to the trigger of feeling stressed and overwhelmed, to unconsciously getting the packet of fags out of your pocket and smoking them, or going straight to the fridge and grabbing a beer. You have to be able to change those patterns, and to be able to change those patterns we have to be able to create new patterns that probably benefit us more. And I'm going to give you an example of this as something that I did to help me stop drinking, because I was unconsciously drinking. I was comfort drinking during a period of my life that was very difficult. And what I would have is this, what I would call a 5k detox route. And I found a 5k route from my house. And every time the trigger come along to pour myself another drink, and when I felt the urge to drink, what I would do is break that pattern by putting on my running kit and running what I would call the detox route. So this time, every time I felt overwhelmed, stressed, lonely, sad, vulnerable, insecure, and I thought that drink was going to change that for me, I would go on one of these runs. And sometimes I'd end up running 6 5Ks in a day. But what it was slowly doing was changing and breaking the automation that was happening between my brain and the habit. And I was creating this new habit. And the more that I did this run, the less that I wanted to drink. The more that I felt overwhelmed, stressed, vulnerable, insecure, all the things that we pretend that we're not as a man. The more I decided I wanted to run more, then drink more. And it was just changing the patterns. Now for me, anywhere between 2 weeks and 3 weeks is about the right amount of time for you to change a habit. I found a must to change as well. So that must was that I must change so that I can be a much better dad to my kids, so I can think clearer when I was building my business. So there are a couple of things here in terms of summary and changing bad habits. Number one is realizing that you are unconsciously following these habits. Okay. Number two is that we must break the pattern and find something else to focus on to build up different habits, but that are more positive for you, that change the relationship of the triggers that cause the bad habits. And three, it's having a must. Why must you change these habits? And a combination of all three, of raising your self-awareness, of breaking the pattern, of understanding why you must change, being patient is all ingredients that you'll put into a bowl, mix up, and allow you to take action to break bad habits but create better habits. And that's where the 1% rule a day comes in, right? You can't do this all overnight. This has to be a progression. So when you get 1% better at doing it every single day over 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, that's when you start to see the changes. All right, guys, I hope that helps. I hope you have a great day. I will catch up with you soon.